600 is a huge milestone both for LHSC and also for transplantation in Canada. It represents the 30th anniversary of the program here at LHSC. It's the longest standing program in Canada, so we're very, very proud of that.
When we first began, we were, of course, there was very few heart transplant programs in North America. There was only one in Stanford, one in Virginia, and none in Canada.
Quite active in Calgary, and I never smoked in my life. I seldom drank, and I was quite active. What caused this was initially it was just diagnosed as cardiomyopathy and just basically heart failure of an undetermined cause. Later they thought it might have been a virus or viral cardiomyopathy, and that led to immediate hospitalization, put in ICU, on oxygen, stuffed with IVs and lots of medications, I think up to about a dozen medications a day. My weight plummeted. I think I might have been about 180 then. I was down to 110, and I was, I couldn't breathe, breathe unassisted. My legs, hands and feet were all, filled with fluid because the kidneys were failing. My liver was failing, so I was jaundiced, I was yellow in the eyes. You could see my skin as well. Terrified, absolutely terrified. The idea of a heart transplant, I was 23 years old, and they thought, you're gonna need a heart transplant. I thought, that should be for somebody who's in their 60s or 70s, a heart transplant. And of course we never heard anything about transplants at that time. All of a sudden, within a week or so of transplant, where I was fully conscious, was actually now hearing my heartbeat, and the sensation in my chest, and hearing it actually in my ears, like, wow, what a difference. So it was dramatic. The most precious gift they say you can give is one more day of life. I've received over 10,000, and I hope 10,000 more.
I was very poor. Any exertion at all, and I was out of breath. I really couldn't function at home. Getting out of the shower, it was a half an hour just getting out of the shower and getting dressed, and then another half an hour to rest, catch my breath. This every day. Going up and down the stairs was just very painful. I was hospitalized, yeah. And then they put me on this drip to keep my heart pumping. So I came in on a Thursday the week before, and on Friday morning I found out that it was a slim chance of a heart for me.
When I met him, he could not finish a sentence. He was extremely wasted away. He could not get out of bed, and he was a wonderful shade of yellow as well. I wasn't terribly enthusiastic about what his potential outcome might be from a transplantation. We knew it was high risk going in. That being said, he had an operation that went really smoothly. He had a great heart. And the next day, he was basically sitting up in bed looking fantastic.
Well, when I woke up, I was in ICU. It was this really strange feeling. I could move my fingers and my toes, but I couldn't open my eyes, which was really strange. I don't know how long that lasted, and I finally opened my eyes. Oh, the next day, I was on my feet, went for a short walk. Got out of the bed, into a chair, and then went for a little walk. And then every day, we went for a couple of walks to the window in the ICU. Yeah, it was so lovely to move around. And when you're in the previous state where you're waiting for a heart and you don't know if you're going to get one, you take a very different view and become very pessimistic, I think, to some degree. What is there to look forward to? You've got children that are going to get married, hopefully grandchildren, and whether you're ever going to see that, So it's a very exciting experience, emotional experience as well, for everybody, not only for me, but for my family. Dr. Kwans the next day said to me that you're number 600, and I wasn't aware of that. And I was really excited for the London Health Sciences Centre to be number 600. It's a milestone that we're all proud of.
But no transplant occurs without a donor, and so when there's a sense of sadness about many of the donors, of course, that their lives have been cut short through sometimes quite trivial reasons, that they've become brain dead, and that does affect the recipient sometimes. They know that one life has been shortened to allow them to continue.
Well, of course, you think about the donor. I don't know who the donor was, but whoever it was, I'm very grateful to them and their family for affording me a new lease on life. And hopefully someday we can find out who they are and I can thank them.